And then there came a day like many others. The best Flarking podcast. Your nerd's eye view of TV, film, comics, and video games. With you as always, your mother Flarking hosts, Dunners and Reach. I hope we learn an important moral lesson at the end of this one, guys. And then maybe we'll go for frosted chocolate milkshakes.
Hello, Flarkers of the planet Earth. It's that time again. It's the best Flarking podcast. I am Dunners to some, and with me, as always, is the immortal, the legendary Reej Hogan. Reej, how you doing?
Doing wonderful. Just,
brother.
Man.
Brother. What are you gonna do?
I have the Hulk voice, though.
What are you gonna do?
I got more of the Randy Savage
when Reej
voice.
runs wild on you? The Rejo man, Reegy Savage.
Yep.
Ooh, yeah. Space is the place.
Flarkers of the world coming to get ya.
You know, for a show that said that we were going to go to an every other week format, we have done a goddamn awful job of going to an every other week format, seeing as we've just been putting out weeklies again. But that's not really our fault. That has a lot to do with the news cycle being on point, really. So
yeah, that and actually having some things to talk about news-wise.
Yeah.
That does help.
It's true. That being said, let's get right down to it. So Hasbro has assembled a cabal. I like saying cabal because it's a ridiculous sounding word. And the first place that I learned it from was the movie Nightbreed. But and it was describe a person. And I was like, oh, that's a great word. I'm trying to find uses for it. And then I've been rewatching the Avengers cartoon, and the bad guys are called the Cabal in that.
Yeah.
So
that's the opposite of the Illuminati.
So Hasbro has assembled their own cabal of writers, getting some pretty badass ones. A couple of my favorites, John Francis Daly, who you may know if you watch the show Bones, as Sweets, the psychiatrist on that show. He also wrote Horrible Bosses 1 and 2, and he was Mitch in Waiting. He's a really funny dude, and he's a good writer. So I think that's pretty sweet. On top of which they grabbed...
wait, he was Mitch?
Yeah, he's the one who's just, they never let him talk.
Of course he is.
And then...
That makes so much sense now.
And then they got the lead writer of Guardians 1 to... Well, I guess not lead writer, the additional screenwriter aside to story from James Gunn. And then we've got a bunch of other folks on there, like the Tomb Raider writers. There's it's like 3 really cool ones, and then it's like a few that are like, all right.
Right, but nonetheless involved in things that make you go, hey, okay, all right, Hasbro.
So, I mean, and what is it? Chio Coker from Ray Donovan, which is also really good. And Brian K. Vaughan. From Lost fame, which you may or may not like. But they're bringing these guys together so they can find a way to marvel up their universe. The real problem with this cabal, though, is the fact that fucking Akiva Goldsman is overseeing the whole group. That's the real problem.
Elaborate.
Akiva Goldsman's a fucking hack. That's the problem.
Like Perlmutter hack? Or no, not scumbag, but hack.
Yeah, he's like a hack
level.
to the maximum level. And now a bunch of people are gonna be like, but he fucking wrote A Beautiful Mind. Like, he adapted some dude's life story. That's fucking different. But he also, he just he fucking wrote what were the big ones? He wrote I, Robot, which sucks. He wrote Batman and Robin. He wrote Batman Forever. He wrote the screenplay for I Am Legend. He wrote Insurgent.
Stop. Stop.
So it's like,
make it stop.
So it's like, all right. Oh, he also wrote the shitty reboot of Lost in Space. So like,
yep. Okay.
But then there are times where he has like moments that kind of shine because he wrote The Client. He wrote A Time to Kill. But like, he misses more often than he doesn't.
I was just gonna say, those are from like 2 decades ago.
Yeah, they're from 22-ish years ago.
Everything else you had named was from the past decade.
But what it looks like is he's overseeing the entire writer's room, so he gets the final say on what is good from a list of what I consider better writers than him.
Hopefully it won't go that way though. You know, hopefully it is just somebody who realized they weren't good at one thing and realized they maybe were at another, such as facilitating, you know, like,
right.
Hey, I'm gonna be so good lately, but guess what? I know some people who are.
I do know some talented folks, and I can bring them together to do the things and do. But basically, what they're gonna do is they're taking their G.I. Joe universe, which one really shitty movie, one much better movie, still not great.
Oh my god, the second I don't think it gets the credit it deserves.
I enjoy the second one, but I'm not gonna lie to the people on the podcast and say it's a good movie. That's a totally different thing altogether. You know,
it's not a good. No, yeah. I would.
So it's like do I enjoy it? Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
But will I tell people that I think it's a good film? No, I will not.
No,
so
nor will I. I'll tell them it's a fun one.
They're taking that the Transformers, the Micronauts, which were awesome. Visionaries, which, you know, we had talked about before, is a cartoon I fucking loved as a kid. And then, you know, Mobile Armed Strike Command, a.k.a. Mask, which is also awesome. And Rom the Space Knight, and merging all of those toy lines into one universe. So that way they can have all of their movies live in the same kind of world, and you can have The Rock show up as Roadblock, fucking firing a Gatling gun alongside Optimus Prime and Rom, while fucking Galvatron and Cobra Commander are fucking on the other side doing whatever it is that they're gonna do. So, you know, all sorts of goofy, neat shit that they wanna run with. So, I mean, that's cool that they got this writer's room together. I just, much like how we have our problems with the DC universe right now, the problems with the Hasbro universe stem from Akiva Goldsman. If he's the gatekeeper to the universe, there are better gatekeepers to your universe, so to speak. So, you know,
no, it makes, yeah.
You know, and like Feige with Marvel is an excellent gatekeeper to his universe because he cares deeply about those stories and those characters. Whereas I don't know if Akiva Goldsman really gives a shit and he just kind of wants to be in power. You know, I don't know if I trust anyone who wrote Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, who truly gives a shit about the characters he's writing about.
Yeah. So, well, your logic is sound. I
just don't know. But that's really, you know, that's where you kind of fucking got to leave the Hasbro shit. Is that it's like, all right, cool, they got a team together. Let's see if they can turn it out.
What you do.
The Flarkers are undecided as of this exact moment in time, but we will find out soon enough whether or not they're going to make something good.
Fingers crossed until then.
In relatively not good news, Marvel has pulled the Inhumans from their production schedule altogether.
Outta here. It's out of here, bro.
It's gone.
It's not on the list.
It's gone because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fucked up all the Inhumans and did a bad job with them. So now no one cares about them anymore. I kid, kind of. But,
don't lie to the people.
Oh, no, I mean, Mara's actually working her way through the show right now. And she's like, I really like it. I'm like, oh, I have just hated all the episodes I've seen. With the exception of a couple. The one where Bill Paxton gets blown up, I thought was great.
Oh, that was great. That's great.
So like, I was like, all right, that's good. I like that. That I think is funny and great. But
yeah, so what do we've talked about it, the riff. Do you think that's what this is?
I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I don't think they're sure that the Inhumans can carry a movie. I think that's the thing is like, I personally think they can, but I don't know if Marvel believes that. You know, like, I don't know, like, plus now Marvel is, if you look at it from the concept of the universe building thing, Marvel built a universe on Earth first, And then they built another section of that universe in space, and now they're going to be building a third part of that universe with the mystical side. And they're going to have to try and do this weird thing where the Inhumans are partly cosmic and partly terrestrial, as far as how...
And almost mutant in a way, where it is completely separate from what's happening in Avengers World and X-Men World.
Yeah, so I think it's really tough to find a place for them. And like you and Pete were saying in the last time, you know, we were doing this, is Black Bolt is, you know, a harder thing to sell to the regular fans with as the lead man who can't talk. You know, like for me, I think that's fucking sweet. But for your average moviegoer, it's gonna be like, this guy doesn't fucking talk.
Like, right.
You know, it's like,
yeah, and unless Medusa's there to interpret thought the entire time, like we had mentioned, you know.
So, you know, there's all sorts of...
Yeah, you do it one of two ways. You either do it Guardian style, where you introduce each character, you know, in the first half of the film and then bring them together, I guess, but they're never really separated in the first place.
Yeah, because he's the king of that whole race.
Right.
You know, so it's like...
So how do you...
It is a tougher idea. So I don't want to think that they're pulling it because they're like, yeah, it's dead. I think they're pulling
it. They just don't know how to approach it.
Because they don't know what to do with it right now. And considering the fact that the other movies are going so well.
Yep.
And, you know, the news that we're going to have a little bit.
And it is so separate from what's happening that it's okay to kind of slow down to do it right, you know?
Exactly. So, like, there's no rush to, like, push through this so fast and get all of these properties introduced, when you could have a Black Panther 2 or an Ant-Man 3 or Guardians 3.
We saw it on Netflix with Iron Fist and Luke Cage now and everything. You know, we got Daredevil season 2 before. I think we were originally supposed to have Cage before season 2.
We were supposed to go one season of each, and then Defenders before anyone got a second season. Yeah. And I mean, there's obvious reasons why that was not the case, and that's because Daredevil was a huge success, and then Jessica Jones was a big success. But the timetable then would be like, we can't keep doing seasons in between these, and like it's going to take like 5 years to get.
Right.
It's going to take 5 years to get these street level heroes out.
We're not going to get a Jessica Jones 2 in between the others.
So, which is also odd because I feel like they're trying to get the Defenders done, because I fucking feel like Marvel's pulling a Fox on us here with the whole there's no Wolverine, just kidding, there's Wolverine. I feel like with the Netflix characters, we're getting a swerve of, we can never work them in, we can't work them in, and it's gonna be like, then the fucking Defenders show up in Infinity War. Like, I feel like they have to, especially if that original trajectory that they listed is true.
Oh yeah.
That the first movie is the B-level heroes, with the exception of Spidey and Strange and Panther, taking on the first threat while Tony's in prison and Thor.
So wait, whoa.
What do you mean, whoa? We talked about this weeks and weeks and weeks ago.
Did we?
Yeah, man. It's like 15 episodes ago we talked about this.
But nothing's guaranteed, though. This synopsis, I mean, this is all
but this is also, this story trajectory was leaked back when it was also impossible to believe that Sony had come to a deal with Marvel, and that same story trajectory had Spider-Man in a movie in 2017 on their trajectory. So, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, take it with a grain of salt for sure, but at the same time,
but we've been right about everything.
Yeah, like
not we as in you and I, but
the royal we. So it's just, I feel like these street level heroes are going to show up, especially if that story trajectory is to be believed going forward. But, you know, also it could be all sorts of things change all the time. You got RDJ saying that he doesn't want to do any more other than the big Avengers movies or the you know, the pop up in a supporting role here. And then he's like, you know, I kind of want to take it easy. And then he confirms for Spider-Man. He's going to be mentoring Spider-Man in fucking Spider-Man Homecoming. So it's like you get these things where it's like it's always changing. Like, what if RDJ is like all of a sudden, yeah, fucking want to do Iron Man 4? Do you tell him no because we have Inhumans on the schedule? No, you probably fucking move Inhumans because Iron Man did $1 billion. You know,
that's exactly what you
do. know. So it's like it's just a matter of, sure, nothing's on the books right now, but it clearly feels like RDJ has the fire lit underneath him again to keep playing at Tony Stark. And on top of that, it looks like Favreau is now back in the mix for Marvel as well. I mean, he had comments. Well, I mean, there's an official announcement that he's executive producing Infinity War.
Oh.
So he's on an executive producer level with the Russos. The Russos directing and him exec producing along with, Feige and like the rest of the team. But Favreau is back in the mix for Infinity War. He said he probably won't ever direct one ever again, but he will always be a part of the Marvel Universe going forward.
Oh, of course, yes. He has my utter confidence. Just you started this.
Yeah, he really did.
You did.
Also, just so we can get it out of the way, because I'm gonna bash on Batman vs Superman real fast. I was reading through my RSS feed, and the RSS feed was like, Batman vs Superman passes a Marvel movie on the list of highest grossing superhero movies domestically. I guess the movie's not doing that bad, huh? And it's like, in the article, it's like, look at it. It passed Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. And I was like, yep, it sure did pass Iron Man and Iron Man 2. And that is not the comparison you want to be making when you consider the fact that when Iron Man came out in 2007, ain't nobody know fuck all about Iron Man. It's just like, you have the two most recognizable superheroes in the history of the medium in the same movie, and they can't gross more than 7 million higher than Iron Man 1 and 2. That is that's problematic. It's like, it's not unfixable. Just admit that it's problematic. Like, Warner, you guys are starting to look like that guy who's like, oh no, it's just a flesh wound. It's like, dude, you've been shot. You got to go to the hospital. No, I'm fine. I'll put some Bactine on it and it'll be fine.
Get him.
So that's my quick little bag on, since we're talking about Favreau and starting them in the Marvel Universe.
I want to loop back real quick, because I don't think we had it on our list quick, and it reminded me of it. But back to the Defenders thing, our quick little looks at Danny this past week.
Oh yeah, the fucking it's you I had talked about, man. Why does everything look like it's like 1975? It fucking weirds me out. Like, I don't get it.
We don't know. Yeah.
Like, is it a period? Is it going to be a period piece and Danny just doesn't age? Is that what it is? Like, the Iron Fist imbues him with energy?
Not.
Because that sounds kind of fucking lame.
Or he's no, that's not part of his.
Yeah, so like,
I don't
like, or is it just that in Brooklyn the hipsters have gentrified so hard that like they're all wearing bell bottoms and fucking crazy ass blouses again? I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I do like what you had pointed out when you and I were talking about it, that he's like all barefoot and raggedy looking, like he just kind of like stumbled out of KU and Loon and he's in New York, like, what am I doing here?
Just walking around barefoot.
Just like, I have no idea.
Danny Rand don't need shoes.
Yeah, Danny Rand.
You kidding me?
Danny Rand don't need nothing. He don't need nothing but punching.
Nope.
Punch the world.
But yeah, we'll try to add those photos for you guys to the post and get you a look.
Yeah, so you can take a little look-see at them. We also had on the list the cryptic Jurassic World 2 poster, but
which turns out
to be some kind of like, it turns out to be some kind of like ride or something. Yeah, they're just like, oh no, I know that we posted it from the Jurassic World account, and we didn't mean to stir up this much interest right away. Is basically what they said. Basically what they were saying. It was just like,
goddamn internet.
They're just like, oh, we didn't know that you guys really like Jurassic World. Like, the fuck you didn't, man. It made the most money of anything last year. People fucking loved that movie. And I don't care what any of you fucking listeners say, because I know there's at least 5 of you little hipstery fucks out there who are like, oh, I thought Jurassic World was super derivative and I hated it. And it's like, yeah, you know what, dude? It had a fucking scientific cloaking dinosaur fight a T-Rex and a raptor in a tag team 2-on-1 brawl to the end. That movie didn't give a shit about trying to make sense. And that was like, and as soon as you embrace the fact that that movie is made for children, that movie, if I saw it as the 13-year-old me who saw Jurassic Park and the 13-year-old who saw Jurassic World, the 13-year-old who saw Jurassic World would be like, man, Jurassic Park sucks. Even though Jurassic Park's a goddamn classic, it's an amazing film, it's one of the best movies ever made. I'm just saying, those movies aren't made for us.
Nope.
But it was fucking sweet. Like,
we've talked about it before, though. As long as a movie can embrace what it is,
yeah, there's no problem. It's the problem. The problems come when the movie is just like,
I'm
a super serious movie, and then something wacky happens, and it's just like, isn't that zany? It's like, no, you don't get to be zany because you said you're serious. You know, and there are movies that walk that line, but there are like plenty of movies, and it's always like the fanboys who just straight up like love to do the protecting of those movies too, where it's just like, yeah, man, that movie sucked. None of that part made like that part didn't make any sense, and the story like fell apart. Look, dude, it's just like a fucking movie about comics, man. You can't take it seriously. Yes, I can. Yes, I can, because the director and the screenwriter told me I had to take it seriously. And
yes,
you don't fuck around with me. You don't fuck around. No. You do what you gotta do. So, now that we've gone completely spiraling out of control.
This show's derailed.
Woo!
No.
You know, so Favreau, like we said, is back in the mix. He also had comments to say on superhero fatigue, citing Guardians, and saying that if you consider Guardians a superhero movie, then superhero movies are going to be around for just about ever. Because if the only metric for saying a movie is a superhero movie is somebody with powers, then get ready to see those movies happen till the end of time, because we've had them forever. He's so he said superhero fatigue isn't a real thing, especially if you consider the way that Marvel is making movies and the way that other movies are being made and stuff on the indie level like Turbo Kid and things like that, where it's just like,
yeah, he makes a super valid point.
He's like, so if you're gonna say that those are superhero movies, then get ready to have them forever, because they're.
I didn't think of it outside of the context of a superhero movie, though, which I guess with the powers reference is what stuck out to me, because I'm like, okay, wait, we don't even know Star-Lord's powers yet, I guess, in a sense, because they're gonna do that whole half thing,
right.
You know, you aren't really shown Gamora's full power set. You aren't really shown Drax's. If they want to do it, you know, I mean, you and I know Drax, the Destroyer, like, there's one reason he was created, and that is it.
Well, like, the thing is, I don't think we're ever going to get to see Drax the way he is in the comics. Like, that's never.
Oh no, that's not my point, though.
Yeah, it's never going to fly, because it's a hard sell, especially now after they've had a movie where he got his ass just pummeled by Ronan. No. So it's like. Yeah. Wait a minute, this dude has the same strength level as the Hulk? And it's just like, yeah, kind of.
Yeah. But no, point being, though, is that you don't get to see these, powers that we know from the comic books. They aren't, portrayed on screen in that movie. They're just different.
Yeah. No,
which is kind of the best part about that movie, is that you just have 5 different people who don't fit in anywhere else and then come together. But other than Groot and Rocket, like, Favreau is spot on to say that.
Yeah.
If you want to label that a superhero movie, like, yeah, they're absolutely going to be around forever.
Yeah,
get ready.
Well, it's like in that regard, Star Wars is a superhero movie. You know, it's
exactly.
Like, so it's just a matter of like, it's like, well, what is the metric that are you saying that all the movies made by Marvel? Because then, yeah, Marvel's probably going to be around for at least another 30 years making movies before people even get remotely tired, because. The thing about it is that
as a more commercially successful, what's the films he does? The Toxic Avengers? I forget.
Trauma films.
There you go, Trauma films. I mean, are you kidding me? Same concept, right?
Yeah, and you bringing up Trauma is an excellent segue into the fact that Nathan Fillion's cameo in Guardians 2 has been revealed, and that he's
it's beautiful.
Why does the name escape me? What is Wonder Man's real name?
Well, hang on, though. So, what you have to preface with, though, is that these set photos started being revealed from an Earth scene.
Right.
And they're movie posters of Nathan Fillion. So if we all remember his cameo from the first Guardians being the blue alien, like, you didn't know unless you knew.
And he's uncredited, so...
Oh, yeah, that too, uncredited. So, this one... a lot more obvious, and he is on, I think, 3, 4, maybe 5 movie posters outside of this theater, and he plays an actor, or not, I shouldn't say plays because I don't know how big of his role is in the film. Point being, on the posters, he is this actor on this earth, and his name is Simon Williams.
Which is the name of an actor in the Marvel Comics universe who also happens to be the superhero Wonder Man, who is also an Avenger, and in the comics is the dude who supplied the brainwave pattern for the Vision. Yes. So that's kind of
hoping above all that this is not just a nod to the fanboys.
I mean, I feel like it is really kind of a nod, but like, because it's funny too, because the posters there are Tony Stark. He's Tony Stark in the biopic for Tony Stark, in a very similar poster to the Jobs posters with Michael Fassbender.
So we're thinking that kind of plays to the point of him being the brainwave creator for Vision.
Well, I mean, and I think
because, and then the other one that says I witch, or something about a witch, would play to his relationship with Scarlet in the comics.
Right. Well, but then there's also the poster for Akron, which is the character. Well, one is a Marvel Comics character, and two is a character he played in the comics for almost all of his movie career. He spent making the Akron movies. That's like, if you look at like all the movies he talks about being in, Akron is the character he played the most.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's a nod to Lloyd Kaufman because, as everyone knows, James Gunn got his start writing for Troma. He's a Troma guy. And
acting.
Yeah. He's in Toxic Avenger 3 or whatever. And then with that last poster being Toxic Janitor 2.
Shout out to James Gunn. We love you.
Dude, he's so legit. He's
so legit.
He's just got it all together. And like he got there through a route that you don't think anyone would ever make it big. It's like, what did you, how did you make it? Oh, I started directing after I wrote Tromeo and Juliet for Troma Films. It's like, really? Yeah. And it's like, oh, cool. What movies have you directed? Well, until I directed mega smash hit Guardians of the Galaxy, Slither, which is amazing. Go watch.
But wait, before even Slither or Super, like what,
Yeah.
Who or any, you wouldn't credit it.
Yeah. So it's just like. And Slither, as I say every time we talk about Slither, is so criminally underrated for how fucking great Slither is.
It really is.
It's just,
and Super.
Yeah, Super's great too. Super is just, it's so sad.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, it's so great until that point.
Well, I mean, it's even.
You realize it has a message.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck.
The sadness is great too. It's just that it's like. It's just so fucking sad when it finally happens. And it's just like, whoa, dude.
No, it is.
So,
shout out to James Gunn.
Shout out to James Gunn.
Making Guardians and awesome movies.
So,
man, do I hope that Wonder Man ultimately shows up with like his beer gut and just kind of hanging out because he's been just out of the scene for a minute. And
I'm Wonder Man, and then have
how awesome! Somebody had mentioned somebody had a comment on IO9 that Marvel should do another one shot with Nathan Fillion as Simon Williams and put him and Trevor
Slattery doing like a really poor interpretation of the Avengers movies, or the stuff that happens with the Avengers.
My Drunk Avengers.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, I would be down for that. That'd be great. I would like that.
As long as Justin Hammer's heading the team.
Oh man. So today, the day that it is right now when we're recording this, is Monday.
April 25th.
Yeah. Tomorrow, Deadpool comes out digitally in an unannounced. We're just releasing the movie digitally on tomorrow instead of May 10th.
This rarely happens, but I'm coming early.
So yeah, it's just like they're just like, yep. So we're doing this. Have fun. So that's kind of a weird, in more of the, as you call it, the life of Pabloing the Fox side of things.
Oh, yes. That's what they're doing.
They are just doing all sorts of just ridiculous. How do you like this? How do you like this?
Yeah.
How do you like this?
What's going to work? I don't know.
Speaking of off the cuff marketing though, Marvel released a really neat like Fox News style show with Christine Everheart, who you may know as the gal who wrote an article on Justin Hammer. She also did a spread on Tony, and she also wrote an article too. Fucking best line from Iron Man 2 by far.
Love that.
It's just oh yeah, last year Christine did a spread on Tony. Yeah, she wrote an article too. fucking just as Tony Stark as it gets, as he's going to Monaco to race in the Monaco Grand Prix. But they had this really cool kind of Fox News style like crossfire thing between two people arguing whether limitations for superheroes should be in place, and it gives you kind of a feel of what Civil War is going to be like from the eyes of an average person. So we definitely think you should check that out. We'll include the link in the post on the old Facebook page and in the runner notes on the SoundCloud or whatever.
Yeah, it was really cool. I'd watched it right before we started the podcast here, and I was telling you, I think people need to see it. I hope that they kind of do more of that in the film, so that you get a sense of the real world impact. You know, as a civilian, you know, you don't have powers, nor can you really do shit about what's going to happen in this Registration Act kind of a thing. But you know, I think it's integral to that storytelling. That you know, that line that is drawn in Civil War.
The line has been drawn.
The line. That's how I feel about it.
Well, yeah, I mean that it does make it. It does add a unique perspective to, because we very rarely get to see from the people's eyes in the Marvel Universe. It's always from the powered people's perspective and how their impact of like saving people happens, which I guess, you know, how I was bagging on Damage Control a couple weeks ago. I guess if Damage Control can handle some of that while being funny, that might actually be a good show. I don't know.
Hey,
I don't know.
We just had a moment on the podcast.
I don't know, but we'll see.
Okay.
I mean, I'm still not saying Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is any good. I'm just saying the Damage Control could be good. I'm not willing to let. I'm not willing to help you out because Deathlock looks super dumb on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like the dumbest.
He hasn't even been around for like a C. I don't even.
It looks so dumb. There's so many like dumb looking things that happen on fucking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's so many dumb things, but that is neither here nor there.
No.
In talking about good TV though, Kevin Smith is directing, I believe, this week's episode of The Flash.
Say what?
Yeah, and he has said that this might be his favorite directing work he's ever done in all of his movies or otherwise.
Whoa.
Yeah. He gets to direct the episode with are you all caught up? Spoiler alerts. Spoiler alerts.
Which actually, yeah, we maybe should start doing that. We've said we don't believe in spoilers, but I've had several people been like, dude,
I feel like if they listen, like if they're weekly listeners to this show,
I know.
Then
that's
like
what I keep telling.
No, you know what? You know what? Fine. We will say spoiler alert before shit, so you can pause it and move along. That's fine.
Yes.
But we are not gonna not talk about it.
Right.
You know. So you know.
No, we will do our best to give forewarning.
So here's your
just jumping in like.
I'll after the show is over, I'll record me going spoiler alert. 3, 2, 1, and then we'll have Reed will just cut that in as like he'll just cut me off mid sentence right before it happens, and then he'll just kind of pop in with like spoilers, and we'll do it like that. But spoiler alert. 3, 2, 1. Barry lost his speed last week to Zoom, who was like, "Hey, bro, I'm gonna kill your brother, basically, if you don't give me your speed." And so Barry's like, all right, I guess I'll give you my speed then, because family is more important than being the Flash, which is not true. That's not true. You can just run back through time. You can be with your family all you want.
He's not there yet, Adam.
What are you talking about? He ran back through time.
By mistake.
No, he ran back in time on purpose 2 weeks ago so they could build the Tachyon device.
2 weeks ago. Yep.
Which also that episode from last week is total fuckery because he comes back and he's like, "Oh, I'm back." I'm like, acknowledge the Supergirl episode. acknowledge that that's where you've been, because that's what happened. Is that when he's like, "Oh my God."
See, and I didn't even watch that yet, so now I've been spoiled. Now I've.
Well, no, because I mean, if you watched,
now I know what it feels like.
You said you were all caught up, so you've seen that episode. Of the
no,
Flash.
Not the Super. Well, no, I saw the one with, not the Supergirl episode with him.
Okay. Well, basically, obviously, when he puts on the Tachyon device, which we get to, and he runs, and you see him disappear, and you see him reappear in that episode of the Flash, When he disappears, he runs into Supergirl's universe. That's where he went.
Which I figured, because he comes back kind of...
Yeah, because he's freaked out.
Not exactly
because
right.
the way he comes back from Supergirl's universe, spoiler...
I was like, yo, where the fuck were you?
And the way he comes back from Supergirl's universe, spoiler alert, is that he runs as fast as he can, and he has Kara push him from behind while she's flying to help boost his speed, and then she punches him forward, and he runs the rest of the way and burns through the time continuum.
How does that work? How does he embrace for that punch?
Well, they're basically, she like runs into his back and like gives him like the shove, the way like a dad helping a kid on a bike for the first time, and like pushes him. Give the push off.
So I get, kind of, yeah.
And
yeah,
then
a little bit of
basically he gets up to Kara's max speed before he even starts running, and then he uses all of his speed to augment, and then it opens up the rift, and he runs back through the world with
I'm gonna have to watch this
with his tachyon.
I would assume that her flight would have very little impact on his running.
Yeah, no, he's faster than her. She actually tries to. She like in the episode, you see her like looking at him. And then he starts running, and she's like, "Oh shit!" And then she flies up next to him. Though, like, there's parts where it's like they play that they're both like really quite fast. And since both of them are like super bubbly, it just the episode plays out. It just plays out so well to have the two of them together.
Which I imagine it would.
So it's like
I would hope so.
It actually is really good chemistry. So that's why I was like, when they're like, "Oh yeah, they might cancel Supergirl," I was like, "Oh cool, then it can go to the CW and actually just be a weekly reoccurring or a seasonal thing, just like in whenever Arrow and Flash crossover to do their to have Flash save Arrow for a couple of weeks from the ratings
deep in the back of your mind.
The ratings
you're
dive.
really just like, give us Constantine.
It really is. At the end of the day, it's like, just fucking get Constantine back on the air. What the fuck is up with that cliffhanger ending at the end of season 1? What is it? Like, if you're never coming back, at least tell me what it was about.
For the love of God.
Oh my God.
Someone.
And then, so this week's episode of Flash is directed by Kevin Smith, who, nerds love.
Well,
we all love him.
I'm very much looking forward to it.
I'm
not that I wasn't, but
I'm already. Now this season of Flash has been great.
I've said it. I don't. Can you name a better superhero TV show on TV?
Oh no, it definitely.
It's like the one.
It's definitely Flash if you discount the Netflix. If the because I mean,
well, yeah, yes.
Because technically those are on TV. Actually, Netflix's metrics. Shut up. You know what we're talking about. With the hood, with the if you.
Actually, you're gonna need a little internet connection.
If you weight the ratings matrix against the 56K modem speeds. Somebody who listens to the show is like, "Hey, I talk like that, man. You guys shamed me. You yucked.
I'm sorry.
You're like, you yucked my yum about how I talk." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, but The Simpsons has programmed me since an early age that you are a nerd."
Exactly. Yep.
How did you know it was me? Was it the Hoybins or the Labins or the Glavins? Oh man.
Amazing. Getting us back
on track. Another quick one. We probably won't have much to talk about this, but they showed off who is the new companion for Doctor Who, and it's actress Pearl Mackie. And the way the sequence they showed is a little odd because he says we have to go back to the future to 2017, and now obviously
don't talk. No.
And obviously since it's 2016, that is technically the future. But Pearl looks like she's dressed from the 80s, so there's a rumor going around the internet that she's from the 80s and Doctor Who brings her to like present day, and doesn't really understand the present day stuff. Sounds like a neat dynamic. I'm super excited for it. I fucking love Doctor Who. I think Doctor Who is the greatest show in the history of television.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I'm sure it will be Pitchfork Nation just after me for this, but I have not watched a single episode of Peter Capaldi.
You haven't watched any of Capaldi's run, huh?
Nope. He just bugs me, dude. His face fucking bugs me.
Now, I'm not the best person because I think Matt Smith is the best Doctor that there's ever been.
Yes.
And that's that.
David Tennant, close second.
I think Tennant's amazing. I thought
and the one season of
Eccleston's amazing too.
Yes.
Like all the guys have been great as the Doctor. I think Matt Smith has always had the better writing team than Tennant had. Plus, he's had the bigger budgets. But
true.
The thing about Capaldi is he's really awesome. He just doesn't do it for me as like a favorite Doctor. He's definitely on like in the fourth position for me. But a lot of my friends who really like Doctor Who are like, oh no, Matt Smith is absolutely the fourth position, and fucking Capaldi is 2, and it goes Tennant, Capaldi, Eccleston, Smith for a lot of people. And that's the crazy thing about Doctor Who fans is we all gravitate to the Doctor in different ways. And
which is what I love.
Which is great. It's one of those things about having a show that's been on for 50 plus years is that it's just like
you get the old school ones too that are like the scarf dude or the
you're talking about the fifth Tom Baker, the fifth Doctor.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the rainbow scarf.
So there's all Tom Baker is
that's what I love about the Doctor though is he gets to pick his fucking wardrobe every and the actor does it, doesn't he?
Right. Well, I mean that's the whole thing about the regeneration is that his personality changes, he becomes a different person, and his sense of style and what he wants to do and how he talks is different. Which is why Tennant was Alonze, and Matt Smith was Geronimo, and Christopher Eccleston was fantastic. And like
fantastic,
and like all of those things. So it's really cool. And I think to go back to Pearl, I think it's really neat to go with like another companion who's not going to be romantically attached to the Doctor. That's why I kind of like Peter Capaldi being old. Is that we've gotten away from like every time he gets a female companion when he's like young Matt Smith or David Tennant, and he's he's kind of an attractive young man. It's like, oh yeah, I want to bang the Doctor. Like, but
he's pansexual, so it's like.
So like who? But I mean, when it comes down to it, who could blame anyone for being like, yeah, I want to have sex with this basically god,
Right.
So, but like, it's nice to not have that moment, where.
No, I feel you. So what are your feelings though on like as Clara being a wasted companion?
I don't think Clara's a wasted companion. I feel like
you don't.
No, I don't feel like Clara's a wasted companion.
I can't voice an opinion on it. That's just what the consensus I'm seeing.
I mean, a lot of people feel that way, but like I feel like the end of her run was really kind of beautiful, actually. Like I liked the idea of
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, at some point you can't save somebody. And I feel like that's really neat, and it's unique for the Doctor because, yes, he can't save everyone, but he always makes sure to save people who are close to him. And for a couple of times in Clara's run, and especially the last few episodes, that really comes down to brass tacks that he can't save her. And he does all of these things that kind of go against everything who he is to save her, and it still doesn't work out for him. And they actually have this just beautiful moment where, like, she's become so Doctor-like in her transformation. It's almost like Donna, where, Donna became very Doctor-like. Yes. Well, I mean, so much so that she became the Doctor. But
which is what has probably led to its now spin-off, I think.
Yeah, I think so. The school or whatever.
Yeah, the book thing.
Yeah. So like they have this moment, where basically to save her life and to restart her timeline, the Doctor is going to do the same thing he did to Donna and remove him from her memory, because it's the only way he can root her back to her body is to like remove all the time stuff. But Clara's smart, so she uses the sonic and fucks with the device. And she's like, oh, I reversed the polarity on this device. And he's like, there's no polarity on this device, but you did do something. So he's like, so when we use it right now, there's a 50% chance that it makes you forget me, and there's a 50% chance that it makes me forget you. And so basically they have this beautiful moment where the both of them hold it, and they press the button, and then they're standing there, and Clara's crying, and she goes, after everything that I've gone through and all the things I've seen and all the things I've done, I don't think I could forget you even if I wanted to. And then the Doctor starts to cry, and he goes, well, Clara, I don't think you're going to have to worry about that. And then he falls over, and he forgets her.
Damn.
And that's the end of her run. Like that, come on, man. That's like Shakespearean right there.
It is.
You know?
Damn.
And you find out, that this whole season, he's been in a diner talking to her the whole time, but he can't remember who she is.
Wow.
And it's just like, yes.
Yep. Slow clap. Yeah.
Is she as good as Amy Pond? No. Is it as romantically important to his character as Rose Tyler? No. But is she a wasted companion? No, because it's a moment of seeing the Doctor in a different light again.
You
know, and those are the things about it is that getting to see him go through these
another
moments.
Doctor in a different
you know, it's like it's these things light. Of the dude has lived through infinite heartbreak, you know,
over
and over. Yeah, so it's weird to watch these moments unfold and to still have moments where it's like, oh, that's awesome, or these really crazy, like, neat things that happen. And that's really that's the best part of Doctor Who, is that everything that happens always culminates in some neat, like, who's a what's it, and then, oh,
grand
that's awesome.
Telling, yes.
And also that's what people criticize about Doctor Who, is there's always some, like, funky solution to it at the end. But there are always these, like, neat little, like, logic puzzles that come out, and it's like, oh, sweet, that's super cool how that works out. And then you always, you know, you also get, like, amazing little moments of shit, like, there's one thing you never, ever, 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 ever in all of ever in time and space ever put into a trap. And what is that, sir? Me. You never put me in a trap. And it's just like there's just those just incredibly beautiful moments, man. You know, and like the thing, like the saying, demons run when a good man goes to war. You know, like all those just amazing lines. Like Doctor Who, if you know,
they should show that shit in school.
As we gush about it, if you don't watch it, you should watch some of it. Suffer through the first season. The first half of season 1 is garbage, but it picks up right when the Daleks show up.
Not we're talking about
the start of the quote unquote soft reboot in 2005, which is crazy because Doctor Who's been on another 11 years now since they quote unquote rebooted it.
Oh man.
A soft reboot is cool too when it's just like, oh yeah, everything that happened. It's just that we're not going to talk about it in depth very much. Right. You know, favorite line in all of television, I've even said it on the show before, but favorite line in all of television comes from the episode Demons Run, when they finally corner everyone in and he gets the general all taking care of him, Madame Kovarian, and they're all sitting there and he's just livid, basically. And he orders the general to tell his men to run away and not to retreat because he wants everyone to know that his name is Colonel Runaway and that he wants kids to walk by his house and say, that's where Colonel Runaway lives. And I want people to laugh when they think of your name. And so it's like this crazy anger riddled thing. And he stops and he like pauses and he realizes that for the first time in a long time, he's actually angry. And he's just like, wow, I'm angry now. Now I'm not sure what will happen. And then Madame Kovarian, in all of her assholishness, goes, that's no problem. The anger of a good man is no problem. They have too many rules. And then the Doctor turns to her and says, good men have no need for rules, and today is not the day to find out why I have so many. And it's just like, oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. They should have sent a fucking poet. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Need a messenger for that one.
It's so good. Damn. Oh, it's so good. But yeah.
So
watch Doctor Who. Pearl Mackey's the new companion. She looks great. Her little 2-minute blip with the Dalek. She calls a Dalek fat. Says he's too fat to fit through a doorway. And the doctor's like, it's a tank driven by a mutant.
Oh man.
It'll blow a hole in the doorway. And it's just like.
Okay. Like challenge accepted then. My duty for next week is to watch at minimum two episodes of Capaldi.
Oh man. Also the neat thing about Capaldi is he has a lot of Strax in it. There's a lot of Strax and the Silurian samurai woman and her lover, Jenny. Okay. Do you not like know about the Victorian era friends of his? Like when he goes back in time to Victorian era and
nope.
Oh man. So good.
Yeah.
So good.
All right. I'm missing out then. Okay.
Strax is a Sontaran. He's one of those clone babies.
Yeah, I remember.
And Strax is great. And he, when the Doctor first becomes the Doctor, he goes there and he's like, Clara, we've got to go. And he's like, that's not me. That's completely different. He's like, you're very similar heights. Because it's like,
damn.
Because he has like, he has a residual like regeneration energy, and he did like this regeneration didn't go well, so he like can't tell the difference between people, and he's just like, there's one of us in the back who keeps talking, the one who's always talking, the not me one, the other one. It's good. Go watch it.
I will watch.
A couple of quick trailer notes because we got 2 new trailers since our last time that we hath spoke. One actually came out this morning, and one of them came out over the weekend. So Independence Day 4 trailer 2.
Is it 2 or 3?
I don't know. All I know is
it's
that
the best one.
When the ship shows up, it's like it's got its own gravity. It's arriving. It's arriving over the Atlantic, sir. What part? All of it.
All of it. to our point of what we talked about earlier, I think this trailer has been the one though that admits that this film is so over the fucking top stupid that I'm gonna go watch it.
Well, I also love that it's like, well, and then they showed Jeff Goldblum. He's like, well, it's definitely bigger than last time. And then also I love the like, why are they screaming? They're not screaming.
They're celebrating.
And the distress beacon and like all the airplanes and stuff.
Oh man, Pullman.
Just all haggard and old and shit.
Neck beard on fleek.
I mean, come on. Are we supposed to believe? Are we supposed to believe in that world that Bill Pullman didn't just get to become forever president after saving us from an alien invasion?
That's very much what happened. Yep. You
Like,
save the United States of America from an alien fucking invasion, bro. You're in it for life.
Yeah, term limits don't count anymore. You'd be like, imagine it was just like, I'm going to run again for president for a 3rd term.
You don't
And it's like,
to.
you can't do that. It's against the law. Yeah, it was against the law when I saved the entire Earth from an alien invasion. I mean,
he's right.
How do you even debate that? Where it's like, well, my opponent here, his position on, the border is a little bit too lax. And he's just like, I saved the Earth. So that's all I really feel like I need to say. And they're like, fuck yeah, he saved the Earth. Vote for him again. Just like all the other politicians like, God, I wish he would die. I wish he would just die. And we could get somebody else in there and take care of it. The visual effects look nice. Everything looks cool. Looks so over the top. It looks so Roland Emmerich. It's ridiculous. It looks just out of control.
It's just another disaster porn movie. It's from 4 years ago.
I do love when they're flying in the ship with him and Bill Pullman's now grown up daughter's boyfriend, played by Baby Hemsworth.
Joe Mauer.
Yeah, played by Joe Mauer.
Yeah.
And they're flying and like they knock over Big Ben. He's like, oh, they really do love to get the landmarks.
The monuments.
They really like to get the landmarks. I was like,
another pot shot.
I'm like, this movie gets it. This movie gets it. Like this is gonna be Jurassic World good. It gets it. It absolutely gets it. Also, that now that they finally seem to be getting it. X-Men. The Apocalypse final trailer, the 3rd and final X-Men trailer. They finally seem to get it with this one. There's comedy in it. There's a couple of good beats where like Quicksilver's like, I'm not afraid of Magneto. He's my dad. And she's like, what? Oh no, him and my mom, no, I know how they had you.
What?
She's like, I know how they had you.
To which I'm like, nope. No. Somebody told you wrong, kiddo.
The High Evolutionary would say otherwise.
Yes.
In a very convoluted way to take that away from Fox. No, Magneto isn't your father. A cosmic fox is your father. Who
poor kid.
Fucking poor both the twins.
Yeah.
The tweens.
The tweens.
Show them what the twins. They are not ready. Then why do we even make them, Baron von Strucker?
What the fuck are we doing here?
Why do we even make them if they're not ready? Because they seem like they can
forehead.
They seem like they can run around and do all sorts of cool shit. And like fucking, Wanda walked in and she's like, oh, pull the door shut and fucking shove Cap down the stairs. They seem ready. Ultron was like, yeah, you guys are ready.
So ready.
You're wondering why you can't look inside my mind.
But those are Avengers, and we're talking about X-Men.
Well, we're talking about the X-Men where Wanda's a little tiny girl who apparently must die because when there's like Magneto's like,
the kid,
I buried them with my family.
Wow. Okay. Didn't put 2 and 2
so
together.
it seems the only one who survives there is Quicksilver, who runs away, obviously.
Well, unfortunately, maybe he didn't, and that's where the High Evolutionary came in. And Magneto really did bury his family.
Maybe.
Ouch.
Maybe he buried his family.
I did dig the trailer. Goddamn public opinion and being influenced by it. Because I was fully on board with the music choice until I read a comment that said, should have had 80s music. And I was like, fuck, he's right.
Yeah, for a movie that takes place in 83, it should have been all 80s music.
And it was early 90s music. Filter, I think, is the band. I wish I would have left you. Now it's a little late.
What was the
great song?
What was the Billboard #1 song for 1983? I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, you do that. Meanwhile, I'll try to entertain.
Oh no, I'm gonna stay in here with you.
Okay,
I'm gonna stay in here and do it. Oh my God, number one. Well, this just gives me like the overall #1s for throughout the year. But Maneater by fucking Hall & Oates. Oh, here she comes. And fucking Cyclops. Watch out, boy. She'll chew you up.
Oh, we should be cutting trailers. What is this?
Fucking Beast. Like,
we might have to do...
Or like when Psylocke throws the sword between Beast's feet and Beast grabs her and just hurls her through the air. And be like, she's a Maneater. She just goes flying through the air. Oh, my God.
We might have to do a Flarking trailer cut.
Oh, dude, like look at all these songs they could have used. You got Maneater by Hall & Oates, Down Under by Men at Work, Africa by Toto, Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, Beat It by Jackson, Let's Dance by Bowie.
Let's Dance.
Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics. Total Eclipse of the Heart.
No. Okay, so
Sweet
Dreams.
When Charles gets smashed into the ground, was just. Now I'm just falling apart. Nothing I can do. A total eclipse of the heart. And fucking Apocalypse slashed him into the doorway.
Fuck. We need to make this. God damn it.
Just recut it with 80s music in there.
Yep. We have to. We're gonna have to. Son of a
bitch.
Course,
just for for fun's sake, All Night Long, All Night by Lionel Richie is also from 1983. So like there are plenty of amazing songs that were #1 in 1983. So, get it together, trailer. Oh, of course, the big reveal is that, like we had said earlier in the podcast, no Wolverine, no Wolverine, no Wolverine, no Wolverine.
None.
Wow, you guys killed all of these soldiers. Well, we had a little bit of help. Fucking claw comes in and it's like, oh, okay.
But what was on that claw?
Blood for the first time since X-Men 2, where there wasn't blood on the claws, there was blood all over him when he got out of the fucking pod. Remember when he's having the flashback, like he's having his fucking DTs in X-Men 2, and he's just like just covered in blood, screaming. I'm like, man, is that Wolverine's blood or is that somebody else's blood?
No, adamantium's dipped in Rain-X before it comes out.
Can't get anything on it. No blood. You can't even get blood on adamantium when you're drilling adamantium drills into the adamantium stumps in his hands.
No.
But so for the first time, we're seeing blood. Thank you, Deadpool.
Thank you.
Blood can sell. Fucking dumbass Fox.
I just feel like with Wolverine on that one with the blood, like the Berserker thing, the rage, it's just like I just feel like Ben Affleck right now and Jay and Silent Bob just fuck Lord, fuck, when's gonna be my time?
This doe-eyed fucker right here knows what I'm talking about. When Lord, please, when gonna be my time? And then now Wolverine, now is your time. Thank God.
I hope so.
Which now it makes sense that Stryker is shown in the damn thing because there's gonna be a Wolverine subplot. Because of course it's an X-Men movie. They're basically the only good Wolverine movies that exist. Oh my God. But to close us out,
we did it again.
To close us out for the week, there's a dumbass video that's got a lot of views. It's not dumb, it's actually kind of a novel, neat little thing. It's just grossly incorrect. They decided to go ahead and enumerate Cap's kill counts throughout all the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
And they include anytime anyone gets hit with a shield. And it's just like, wink. I was like, that guy's not dead. There's 20 or 30 times in there. I'm like, that guy didn't die. That guy didn't die. Like, now clearly some of them die. Where like one where he just throws a dude off the helicarrier. That dude's dead.
Oh yeah, he's gone.
You know, or like when they blow up the helicarrier. Which, here's my only beef with it. They say that Cap, by the end of it, spoiler alert, has killed over 14,000 people over the course of the Marvel movies. Which, sure, if the helicarriers had tons of people on them. But you also have to remember that the helicarriers in the Marvel Universe are far more advanced than our aircraft carriers now, and even the most advanced aircraft carrier now only has 4,000 people on it. So
that's the newest shit.
Even if you maxed it out, it would be 12,000. But just for conservative efforts here, let's say that a helicarrier takes half as many people due to the automation that Tony Stark has built into it. So 2,000 people per. So it'd be like 6,000 people that he killed.
Among 3 helicarriers.
Yeah, among 3 helicarriers. And so it's like, okay, maybe he killed 6,000 people. That sounds way less than 14,000. But at the same time, it's also, Marvel goes ahead and says only 23 people were killed in the helicarrier crashes at the Triskelion in Winter Soldier. Which means that Marvel would know. If those people didn't die, if those people didn't die, they didn't die. Like if they went up to like Marcus McFeely, is like, did 6,000 people die in that helicarrier? He's like, no, like 30 people died. Oh, all right.
You know, stay in your lane.
It also makes a lot of sense then to say that there's only that many, because then it's saying that the bridge is the only place that really has people controlling the ship, and everything else is automated, which makes a lot of sense, because if you needed 6,000 or 2,000 people to run your helicarrier, where the fuck did Nick Fury find 2,000 people for Avengers 2? Because he had like 25 people when they flew that helicarrier back.
Yeah,
you know. And, like, we're supposed to believe that S.H.I.E.L.D. is, like, basically Coulson and his fucking Scooby squad of dummies.
Hey.
Yeah. 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 The Scooby squad of dummies, Nick. Coulson's cool. He always has been.
Coulson's the greatest.
But there's a problem when Gideon Malik is one of your big bads. It's a big problem. It's a big problem there. But anyways, you know, we'll include the link to the video because, hey, we like sharing videos. It's probably that I'm just more jealous because he got like 100,000 views in a day, and like I'm struggling to get us to like 30 views overall on our first list bait. But you
just have to just grossly exaggerate.
It's just got to be like,
learned one thing here. That's
the number one superhero in the world, Tank Girl. Duh. Yeah. And then get people be like, Tank Girl, stupid, you don't know shit. It's like, you're the dumb one. 100,000 hits, and it's just like, yeah, I called someone dumb. He called me dumb, so I said that his family was dumb. Ugh. We won't do that. We will. We'll probably end up doing it. We're gonna piss somebody off eventually, but we'll try not to do it on purpose.
Right.
You know? We'll try and be like the Purple God. You know, this is actually our first podcast since the legend himself has passed away, which has actually been a very weird thing, because as many of you listeners know, Reed and I are both Minnesotans. Yep. And if you don't know, Prince was as Minnesota as it gets. Like, it's like part of what makes Minnesota died when Prince passed away. And it's a very weird thing to process, because I honestly don't even know how to handle it. Like, when I found the news out, I was like, man. Yeah. I was like, I didn't even know. I
still don't.
I was like, I didn't even know Prince could die, was how I felt about it. Like, yeah. You know, it's just like.
No, not totally. Yeah, it's a legitimate thought. The man's demeanor, everything about him. Yeah.
And all these stories that keep popping about how just awesome a dude he was. Like, just such a good dude. So in that regard, we're going to try and be more Prince-like and just be good with our information and be good to everybody.
Fuck yeah, man.
All the time. It's a good way to live. Be like Prince, and you know, be happy with who you are. Be weird, but also be good to everyone else.
Yeah, I had read. I think one of the greatest tweets was that if anything, Prince proved that you could be an absolute fucking weirdo and be successful in your field, and no less live in the suburbs.
And you can live in the burbs. You can be weird as fuck, You can be as successful as it gets and be a celebrity to other celebrities.
Yeah.
Like all these stories that come out where it's like Madonna's like, oh my God, that's Prince. It's like fucking Madonna was like, oh my God, that's Prince. You know? Yeah. Holy shit. Man. R.I.P. to the Purple God for sure, man.
For sure.
That being said, we really appreciate you guys listening to the show.
Yes.
And if you want to help us expand the show, the biggest thing you can do for us is to tell 2 friends, because we'll pyramid scheme this whole thing, and then they'll tell 2 friends, and then they'll become members of the show, and then they'll tell 2 friends, and 2 on, and so on, and so on, and so on. And and then eventually we take over the world and run it nicely. We don't, we're not going to be evil. We're not going to be like Dr. Doom about it, but like, well, everyone will get free parking. There won't be meters.
Perfect time for you to drop a, and Pinky, what do we do every night? Be like, oh.
Did you ever, this is a total segue back into making us talk about shit, but have you ever seen the theory that Pinky is the smart one?
Fuck, no. But you've got my interest.
Yeah, the theory behind it is that
what is that? Damn it,
is that Brain is always concocting these plans that are actually very catastrophic for the entire Earth, and they always fall apart because Pinky is dim-witted, quote unquote, and stops him. The belief behind all of it is that Pinky is actually a genius, and Brain is the idiot because he can't tell that Pinky is playing him the whole time and constantly foils his plans on like these weird outlandish levels of intelligence required to bumble the way that Pinky bumbles. Like the things he fucks up are like, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot to put the distributor coil in there and it reversed the polarity on it and it shocked you instead of firing the lightning bolt at the world. And it's like, if he's that dumb, why would he even be able to put that in there in the first place? So there's this big theory that
would go back to why would you put him in charge of such a thing?
Right, and then also on top of that, it's like
smart, Brain, take care of it yourself.
Like Brain also never ever realizes. Like Brain is an idiot because he never realizes to not have Pinky do stuff. Oh my God.
This
so like
is fantastic. Yes.
So there's all of that, but like that's the last thing we talk about. Now we get into the sign off,
and we leave you with that.
Yeah. So if you want to find us anywhere, if you actually just go on to the Google or the Lycos search engine or the Ask Jeeves and you put in Mother Flarker, the very first results will be our YouTube page and then our SoundCloud page were the top 2. And then there's something like the Flarky Fest, which is like the third thing, which is like that should be our thing. we should have our own convention. There's like some kind of like small town auto show that like shows up as like the third thing, and it's like the Flarky County Fish Festival. And it's like, yeah, take that, Flarky County, you dumb idiots.
Yeah, Flarky Flarkers.
Yeah, we're the ones now. But so we're Mother Flarker on everything. Feel free to jump onto any of your favorite social media things, except for Snapchat, because we have our individual Snapchats for that. You want to?
Yeah, we don't get to make cool Discover stories yet.
Yeah, because we don't have the
once
monies.
we do,
we don't have the money.
It's over.
We don't have the monies for the stories.
Is that what it is? You gotta buy some kind of shit.
Well, I mean, I know that like the geotag thing you have to pay $5 for, and then they approve it, and then you can have your own geotag on any of your pictures forever, which is cool. That's how they do it for like Soundset or Bonnaroo or Comic-Con.
Whoop-de-fucking-do.
So, but like the other thing is you have to also just kind of be big enough, and then they'll make a little story channel for you.
Upload awesome content.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be great too, but what can you do?
Have to do it on the fly, live all the time.
What can you do? So yeah, if you go to the YouTube page though, we have our first episode of List Bait up. We're gonna have episode 2 of List Bait later this week, which is going to be Captain My Captain, the top 10 list of best captains of all time. I'm not gonna tell you any of the captains on there, but some of the crazier ones made it. We'll just put it that way.
We haven't discussed this yet because I know I added a couple. I was really hoping. Yeah,
a couple of the crazier ones have made it onto the list, and you'll get to see me argue why they deserve to be on the list. And then hopefully on Friday we will actually have a character profile, like a quick 2-minute rundown on Taskmaster, so you guys can, when you walk into the comic shop, you don't have to be nervous when that guy sipping a tab and eating a Jimmy John's salami sandwich behind the counter.
Step into a Slim Jim.
Oh yeah, and he's like looking at you as he's like just slamming his tab, and you're like, I know who Taskmaster is. You just say that to him, and you'll be able to just run it down in 2 minutes.
Yep.
And he won't be able to actually you. You'll just be able to buy your comics in peace. You can buy your Pogs. You can buy your Beavis and Butthead Slammer in total peace and quiet, and no one will bother you or scare you at the comic shop.
That's all everybody wants. That's just a dream come true.
So 2 new episodes of our 2 new shows coming this week, as well as obviously more podcasts and everything. So subscribe to the Best Flarking Network. Like us as Mother Flarker on Facebook, and we will see you around the internet. Feel free to drop us a line about anything if you have topics you want us to cover, or if there's something like, hey, I don't really understand why Wolverine is like this now. Let us know, say that to us in a comment. Yeah. We'll be more than happy to turn that into a topic for one of the shows, and we'll run with it. So until next time, you guys have been awesome. We have been just a little bit better. We have also been
the best Flarking podcast.